Hello, this video will provide instructions on how to use TreeFind to perform basic research into improving the Family Search family tree. As you hopefully know, Family Search is a collaborative family history and genealogy system which allows all of its users to work together on trying to create one complete and accurate tree for all of humanity. The two primary functions to achieve this are, first, to find and attach source information to people in the tree to both confirm and increase information, including identifying and adding missing people in the tree. The second is to identify people in the tree that are duplicates of other individuals in the tree, so that these people can be merged together as the same person. Family Search provides two database tools to help with this effort. The first is record hints, which are associated with people in family tree that have a high probability of identifying source information that would apply to that person. The second is possible duplicates, which identify people that have a reasonable probability of being the same person. Since Family Search is collaborative, TreeFind provides a way to easily divide up the work so that each person can focus on a particular ancestral line and clean it up based on these sources of information. In order to decide which ancestral line to work on, I got together with my siblings and examined our family tree using the fan chart view in Family Search. We decided to divide up which ancestral line to work on, looking at the third generation, since there are 8 ancestors. Even if you're not specifically cooperating with anyone, it is still useful to concentrate on one ancestral line because you can become much more informed and effective when focusing on a smaller group of ancestors. I will work on the Sinclair line starting with William Stanley Sinclair. So to work on him in TreeFind, all I need to do is copy his ID and then go to TreeFind. You'll notice that in TreeFind, the starting person by default will always be you. So what I'm going to do is take that record number of the starting person and change it with William Sinclair. Now that we have William Stanley Sinclair set as our starting person, I'd like to first explain this first direction selection point for William Stanley Sinclair. What this is this defines, with respect to William Stanley Sinclair, who we want to search for. So the first one says we're going to search for ancestors. So let's suppose we're searching for ancestors for 3 generations. If we go to Family Search and look at William Stanley Sinclair at this point, with him here and 3 generations, so it gives you everybody in this graphic up to this line right here. His great-grandparents that exist, his grandparents, and his parents. Now, if we selected top ancestors for 3 generations, what that does is that gives you just the topmost people at 3 generations. So looking at this graphic again, it would not give you Alexander Sinclair because he has parents William Sinclair and Jean Manson. So it would give you these two. Margaret Cooper has no parents, so she would be still the top ancestor at 3 generations, even though she is only at 2 because there are no parents found. And in the same way, David Chapman would be returned as the topmost, and all of these would be returned as the topmost since they're the 3rd generation. If you went 4 generations, then your top people would be these 2, Margaret, these parents here, then down to Martha, Thomas Stanley, Mary Frances, and then this last one here. That's useful in two purposes. One is to look to expand your ancestral line going up, find the people that don't have parents and try to research those to try to determine who their parents are. The other purpose is if you go to your top ancestors and then add a second step, which wants to then look at their descendants. There's no reason in choosing the ancestors because then you get all these people, whereas if you look at the descendants of the top people, it will find these people anyway. And so you would want to, in a multi-step search, typically go to the top ancestors, then to search for their descendants from the top level down. Find all descendants for 3 generations, and bottom descendants would be useful for looking for lines that don't continue, people that have no children, and try to determine if there should be children and try to find children for those people. So that's what those directional values are all about with respect to whoever the current person is. Okay, so now what we want to do is build my own research menus based upon William Stanley Sinclair. So if I go to the select search, initially you're just going to have the menus that are built into TreeFind. And the very top one is the one we want to look at. That's the research menu. Let's go from the bottom up. I put the cousins at the top because I think these first will probably be using the most as you proceed in the research. But certainly starting with direct ancestors and direct descendants is a good way to start. So let's start with the ancestors. So we've got ancestors with record hints or possible duplicates. Now, another thing I would suggest is if you don't have a lot of experience with attaching sources in Family Search or merging people that are possible duplicates, then you probably want to just do the one you want to practice and not do both. But after you've gotten proficient at that, I would say generally you want to have both of those clicked because you want to focus on individuals and take care of everything with respect to those people in the tree, in both record hints and possible duplicates and whatever else, to add more information around the people that you're working on at the time. So I'm going to create my own custom search now, starting with William Stanley Sinclair. So all I'm going to do is add Sinclair here, saying I'm working on the Sinclair line. I mean, you could put his whole name in there, but since I'm just using this to focus on that line, I don't think I need more than just the last name. Once I've created this, I'm going to start this search. And you notice that the title here before is no longer research, it's now my search. So by giving it a new title, it changes to a new menu that will be created that are my own custom searches that I have created for myself. And the only way to save that is to actually the first time start the search. There's no save button. Starting the search saves it. So let's hit start search. And fairly quickly, we have found 5 ancestors that have either a record hint or a possible duplicate. So once we found those people, we just want to start working on those, resolving the record hints, resolving the possible duplicates, even spending time adding whatever additional information we can find about that person, and then move on. So to go to a particular person, all we have to do is click on one of these links to that person, which will go to their page within Family Search. So let's start with this Alexander Sinclair. Okay, so now we have Alexander Sinclair, his home page. We notice he has both a possible duplicate and he also has a record hint. TreeFind is going to provide you links into how to go about resolving possible duplicates and how to attach and resolve record hints. The purpose of TreeFind is just to find you those people within that particular ancestral line so that you can then work on those possible duplicates, reviewing the merge, and then if it's the right one, merge them together, and reviewing and attaching that particular record hint if it really is a match. And so review the videos we have provided links for, which will show you how to do that. So in the same vein then, we've ran that. Now if I go back and start another search, you'll notice that now there's another menu, which is My Search, and that's Sinclair Ancestors with Record Hint or Possible Duplicate. Now is there to just continue working that search line. So let's go ahead and build all of the other search types so that they're available. Now I'm going to work from the bottom up. We'll do the bottom descendants with record hints, and I'm going to again change it to Sinclair. Bottom descendants with record hints or possible duplicate. Start that search, and appears it only found 4 at the bottom, which for 3 generations would make sense. It wouldn't necessarily find 5 people in that search. So I'll go back and start another search, select the search, and you notice the bottom descendants moves to the top. Whatever search you last performed will always show at the top. So next we'll just keep filling those in. Descendants with record hint or possible duplicate rather than bottom descendant. Again, we'll put Sinclair. Sinclair descendants with record hint or possible duplicate. Start the search, which will then save it. And here, since we're not looking at just bottom descendants, all descendants, it found all 5. We're almost finishing this, so in the same fashion, we'll now do the bottom cousins. Now, we'll explain that one. Bottom cousins with record hint or possible duplicates. We'll put Sinclair here, so I don't forget. And you notice now what happens is it takes William Stanley Sinclair, and it goes back 2 generations. And we can start with 2, and if we run out of people, we can go up another generation. But then for each of those top ancestors, it's going to look for each one of those ancestors at the top, their bottom descendants, looking for 6 generations. And so it's now doing 2 steps in the search. Find the top ancestors, then for each of those top ancestors, find the bottom descendants. But you notice it's limiting it to 5. And so since it's doing kind of all this in parallel, but it does tend to focus on the first top ancestor first, which remember was our Alexander Sinclair we saw before as the top ancestor. And it found as his descendants 5 people. So it didn't even need to continue looking, even though it started to look at 25 of those. Already found 5 out of the 42 descendants that it searched for Alexander Sinclair. If this was split, you might have 3 here and 2 there. Then this check mark would show you the descendants of him, the 3, and then this check mark would show you the other 2. So you can alternate between here we have none, here we got 5. This just allows you to see who is from which line. And so here we do the last one. Go to research, cousins with record hint or possible duplicate. And we just, again, put in Sinclair. Sinclair cousins with record hint or possible duplicates. This will be all cousins now, not just the bottom ones. And start searching. And there again, we find the 5 is found. We'll go back to the beginning. And we now see that we have all 5 of the research searches. So we have now gone through the process of building a complete set of research sources for a particular ancestral line. I hope this has been helpful in seeing how you set this up. And now it's a matter of going to work. I hope this has been helpful to you. Thank you very much.